Hello, everybody, and welcome. All right, so here we are in our Thursday live stream, and today I'm really extra excited. I know you guys hear this from me a lot, but I'm really looking forward to this conversation with a couple of my clients, and they are based in Nashville. So today's talk is on how these Nashville-based RDNs leverage ebooks and webinars to get clients and to generate revenue. And so this is going to be a really great, I think a really awesome conversation, mainly because the strategies we're going to be talking about, you can take these strategies and begin to implement in your own business. So we're going to be sharing a lot of juicy tips on how to actually take these strategies and implement them on your own, so you too can begin to really, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to book clients, into these higher end, platinum level programs and packages, and really utilize webinars as that launching off point. All right. So hello, I want to welcome both of you. We've got Allie and we've got Leah, and just a nice big warm welcome. Why don't we start by having you tell us just a little bit about yourselves as well as your business?
Yeah. I'll start us off here. So hi everyone, I'm Allie and this is Leah. We are two registered dietitians located in Nashville, Tennessee. And we founded the company called Nourished Routes, which you can see spelled here. We really focus on helping people ditch fad dieting forever. I'm sure a lot of you have seen people who are just like always in that fad diet cycle. And we really help people sense or get a feel of food freedom and that they don't have to diet any longer. We founded the company about 2 years ago. I'm from Boston originally, and Leah is from Michigan. So neither of us are actually Nashville, from Nashville originally, but we're really excited, and Nashville has been a fun place to live.
Yes, it has.
Awesome. Welcome. I'm so excited to, again, just delve in and share some of these juicy strategies with our audience today. So, all right. So, guys, before we jump in, let me just kind of give you a quick overview of just some of the things that we're going to be covering today. So, we are going to talk about how Nourished Routes is able to leverage ebooks and webinars, again, to help them to generate revenue and ultimately to get more clients. Allie and Leah's secret sauce for filling their webinars with ideal clients. And guys, that is really the key. They are able to not only fill their webinars with, people, but their ideal clients who end up being really perfect for their platinum level VIP programs and packages. And we're also going to touch on a concept, how to integrate or how they integrate an application process into their client onboarding system, and of course, much more as we delve into this conversation. And for those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is Lesli Bitel, and I'm a business strategist and mentor. I work with all kinds of private practitioners who are, really wanting to up-level their business and take it to that next step, right? People who, want to help more people in the world, want to make a bigger impact, but just really kind of struggle with that business side of things. So that business and marketing overwhelm, that's where I help, right? To put systems in place with you and really help you to create, your messaging, put together your services, your packaging, your pricing, and all of those things that lead to the end point of being able to help more people scale your business by offering courses and, other, more passive revenue streams. So that's a little bit about me. If you want to learn more, feel free to DM me. I'm at Lesli Bitel on Instagram, and I'd love to hear from you. All right, so with that little bit of background, let's jump in. So I would love to kind of take a step back in history and just kind of learn a little bit about how the two of you were running your business. Kind of like what did it look like? What did your, your services look like? Just kind of give us like a before snapshot of where things were. And then we can delve into all these amazing, juicy strategies that have really changed things for you.
Yeah, I'm over here shaking my head because I remember that time very vividly. It was tough for both of us before we started working with you, Lesli. We really had so many different services and a lack of clarity of who we were as a company, as well as who our audience was and who, like, what our ideal client that we were serving was. So getting the opportunity to work with you was so helpful. It changed our lives and our companies so drastically. Like, we have no idea. We pinch ourselves every day that we're here now.
Oh, good. So happy to hear that. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, this gets me really fired up because you guys deserve it. I mean, and every single person on this call today, on this live stream, whether you're live or going to catch the replay, you've got this amazing gift to offer the world, life-changing. And so sometimes the challenge is just your messaging and really being able to communicate that value with your audience. So I do remember, kind of like looking back when we first started working together, one of the things I remember focusing on was that message, right? Because you guys really had a passion for helping people, eat healthfully, and ditch all these, fad diets and all these, just that chronic dieting kind of a situation so that people can achieve their, like sustainable change, right? So they don't have to fall back on like all kinds of, deprivation and, heavy duty restricting. So that's great. So, all right. So tell me a little bit about like what your services looked like before we started working together.
Yeah. So we offered a lot of different services. I think we offered like literally everything that a dietitian could offer. We just, we really just offered everything at a very low cost that was not sustainable for us to make money. And yeah, we offered both personal, one-on-one counseling. We offered group. We offered cooking classes, meal plans, things we did.
Store tours.
Yeah, we offered everything.
In-home cooking classes, and it just really wasn't even attractive what we found out to our client either. Having all these services and doing it for such little pay and not really knowing who we were it's not appealing to the market or anything.
No.
Right. So yeah, and I know it's really difficult to make a living. First of all, with the pricing, most often this is a generalization, but most of us do come to the table priced too low, right? I'm sure everyone here on this call today can probably relate, right? But generally, we tend to underprice ourselves because we're thinking that if we go in low, if we provide all kinds of value, like all kinds of services, everything but the kitchen sink, pretty much. And if we go in really low, then maybe we'll get lots of traction and lots of business and, but it doesn't end up being that way, does it? The client has a hard time understanding how you can actually help them, right? So, so you came to the table priced too low with just everything, like you said, all kinds of services, everything but the kitchen sink, and you weren't really getting traction, right? So, tell everyone a little bit about some of the strategies that you think really made the biggest difference in your business.
I would say strategies in like how do you mean?
Well, why don't we start like with messaging, packaging, right? In terms of packaging up because basically now you guys have a signature program, right? Yeah. So instead of having like 20 things to pick from, you've basically got a core program, and we focused on that first, right? Getting traction with that core program. And I know since then, we can talk about like different things we've added to the mix. Why don't you talk a little bit about like that program and just like the services and messaging part, and then we can segue into like enrollment and how you're using webinars to do that.
Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, what we really found was we described our ideal client, and from there we, talked over what we found to truly help them and only really offer those services. So from there, we developed a 90-day program. It's like the ideal package for any female who's looking to ditch fad dieting and learn about whole foods-based eating and finding food freedom. So we only use that kind of language, and we only, we built our program over what we know and have found through this painstaking process of like offering everything, like truly helps them. And so we can kind of like cut away all of the other services and everything else that we are doing. And we've discovered, we're really talking to the person that we want to work with, and then someone that's actually going to purchase something from us because it's built for them.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so basically, and we have a 3-month program, right?
Yes.
A 3-month program. So yeah, so guys, everything in the 3-month program that Leah and Allie are offering is basically put into place to move the needle, to help get that client from point A, which is struggling, to point B, which is, of course, thriving, moving forward, getting traction, making progress, right? So I think that really is one of the key things is we got rid of like all the stuff, right? Yeah. And really instead honed in on the things that are going to move the needle for that client. So we were actually pretty picky in terms of what actually made the cut. So let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the sales process, because I think that quite often is kind of scary. Like when we think about moving into, this higher, I guess, like VIP level experience with clients, as the practitioner, it can feel scary, right? It's like, oh my gosh, is anyone actually going to sign up for this? It's kind of a leap of faith, don't you think?
Yes, it was very scary.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about, your experience and your thought process. And I know you really had to, like I said, it was a leap of faith. Like you kind of had to trust me, right? Yeah. Which can be scary if you, because it's something totally new. But tell us a little bit about, I don't know, any pearls that you can share in terms of like those discovery calls that really seem to help your clients be able to conceptualize how you are going to be able to help them solve their problem.
Yeah, so I know, when you introduced our kind of the sales pitch that we should try and give. I know Leah and I were both in the beginning, like we're not salespeople. We have no sales background. I think that's something that really you could utilize in your dietetic internship is more like marketing experience. We were both very bad at it, I would say at first, but it took a lot of practice. And really, we honestly like role played and like read it out loud to each other and like practiced. But really what we found to be most beneficial were 2 things. Like the first thing is including those pain points and really talking, like being empathetic about what's going on in that sales pitch. So it almost ends up being not a sales pitch, but just you being an empathetic human. And then the second thing was practicing. And yes, we practiced with each other, but I would say we had 50 sales calls. I would say the last 10 were like our best because we had so much practice prior. So I would say you just have to take a leap of faith, and some in the beginning were definitely a struggle, but I would say both of us feel super confident with it now.
And
That's so good.
The way that you're helping the person to realize that they need you, rather than like, now that we don't feel like we're selling to somebody or like hoodwinking them. We feel like we are truly helping them to understand and realize through this conversation that they need us, and they have so many problems in their lives in so many areas because they're struggling with their nutrition, and this will truly help them if it's something that's really important to them, and that's the only kind of person that we want to work with.
I love that. So let's talk about so the sales conversation or that discovery call process. It took practice.
Yes.
And you guys put the work in, like, for sure. You did everything that was on your side of the street in terms of, really taking that script that I give my clients and making it your own, which I think is super important. Still following all the steps that I teach, because really the way that conversation is laid out, it's really about helping that client, at the end of the conversation, regardless of whether it's a yes or a no, in terms of them moving forward, like, you can feel really good that you help them move forward. Like, their readiness to change most likely is move forward, regardless of the outcome. And that's, personally what I love about that conversation and just the blueprint, how that's organized. You can feel confident that you're providing value, which, let's be honest, that's what we're in the business for.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? We want to provide value to our clients. Never do we want to feel like we're arm twisting or, trying to convince them of something, because like you said, Leah, it's really true. You want to be working with people that are willing to do the work. That is your ideal client. They're motivated and they're willing to do the work. So, and this conversation, it sounds like, really helped you to, honestly, to weed out your ideal client in a lot of ways. So what I'd love to talk about next is, let's delve into how, because this is always the $1 million question, right? Where do I get more clients? How do I find more ideal clients? How do I get my phone ringing or get more inquiries coming in, through social media, through my website, or email, right? And the two of you have been successful at this. And that's why I'm so excited to have you here with me today, because you've implemented a strategy that is frankly brilliant. And it's webinars. So I really want to dig in with you on this strategy. So you came to me doing webinars, okay? I do remember you guys were doing webinars. You were promoting them on Eventbrite, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. The challenge was that they weren't really converting, right? It was kind of feeling like, what's the missing link here? Can you, well, first of all, tell us a little bit about, like, really, there's several parts to this. I guess the first part I want to wrap my mind around so that our audience can understand is how you filled those webinars, right? How do you go about filling those webinars with ideal clients? Because I think that is kind of it's a scary thing for people, because they're like, what if I do a webinar and nobody shows up, right? That's a concern. So tell us a little bit about how you go about filling those webinars with ideal clients. Tell us also the frequency that you're doing webinars, because this part's really cool too. All right, go ahead, and I'm going to listen.
Sure. So we are now marketing our webinars in a variety of places, which we weren't doing before. We have some ads running on Facebook, which you've taught us to do also, and marketing them in appropriate Facebook groups. So we post them in, say that our webinar is on the gut-brain connection, which is something that is something that we teach in our program. So it's definitely applicable and can be reaching people who are our ideal client. And we would be in these different groups, and we'd be just like, sharing, the link to our Eventbrite page. Also just building our email list through different ads that we would run, to get people's email addresses by, doing things that we can do for free for them, like having a free 1-hour nutrition consulting session with us or something like that. It's an automatic way to quickly build your email list, or sending people free handouts and ebooks that we also have. We grew our email list like so quickly. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And then we can reach people, like 1,000 people with every email now, which is, our email list started off at like 200 or something a couple months ago. And so we tell them about our upcoming events, and people just, if it speaks to them, then they're at our ideal client. We can talk to them in that webinar.
So good. Okay, so a few pearls here. One is you're using Eventbrite, right? And that I love that idea. The second way you're filling your webinars is by doing Facebook ads, which is awesome. And so with the Facebook ads, it sounds like your call to action in the ad is to sign up for the webinar, right?
Yes.
It's okay. So that it sounds like that's your main ad is, hey, we're doing this webinar, grab your seat, save your spot. And that in of itself enables you to grow your email list. And guys, it allows you to grow the list with people that are interested in what you're doing because they see the topic, right? Okay, and then the third thing is you're sharing the link to your webinar, to the registration in various Facebook groups that you're involved in.
Yes.
Okay, and of course you're sharing it to your list. These folks are already on your list, but the purpose behind it is to develop that know, like, and trust. So that they get more exposure to you, you really establish yourself even more as the authority in the marketplace, and you can invite them into a next step, right? Whatever that next step is. Yeah. Actually, there's one other thing that I think you said in there, Leah, and that is, let me ask you, are you running ads to your ebooks, or are you mainly focusing on the webinars?
We do ads for our like freebies and stuff so that we can get this email, and then you can get them on the webinar by having their email.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So that's so basically it sounds like the ads are really, really working for you in terms of growing your audience. I mean, it's absolutely catapulted your list growth.
Yes.
So you've got, lots and lots of people, lots of growth there, ideal clients. All right, so that's how you're getting people into your webinars. How often are you doing the webinars?
We're doing them typically once a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, once a week. Did everyone hear that? Once a week, not once in a blue moon. Like you're really doing it. You're doing this you're implementing regularly. Like it's kind of like, like I've committed, like I do these Facebook Lives every week. It's kind of like you just pick a strategy and you go all in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And so the two of you have picked webinars as one of your key strategies, and you've committed. So your audience is expecting that, right?
Yes.
And they look forward to it, and it's really working. Let's talk a little bit about the structure, because again, looking back, remember when it was just really hard. It felt like, yeah, we're doing all these webinars. I remember you guys were doing these a couple times a week, and not a whole lot was happening. Tell us what is different, what changed. that is enabling you to, now you do the webinars once a week and you're enrolling clients like crazy.
Mm-hmm. I would say that one huge thing that we did was make some of our webinars free. So it's huge when you can make something free. We will reach easily 3 times the amount of people. Last night we had
40 people signed up.
Yeah, for a webinar. Before we would get like 7. And that would be a struggle to even get those people on. So just realizing that if it's, it's not a large source of income, if it's something that you can do easily and you're already doing, and offering it for free, we're reaching so many more people, and that's so much more valuable to us to build our email list. And then also, with the potential of them signing up with us for a 90-day program, we're talking about that program during our webinar, and also talking about a topic that we're going to cover in working with them, and just giving them, basically an insight into what working with us would look like in that webinar. They also get to know us in that webinar and talk with us and ask personal questions. So it's like a really valuable opportunity that you don't normally get to work with a potential client before they buy in.
I love that. So it sounds like one of the big changes was before you, and I understand why you would do this, right? You were trying to make the webinar a revenue stream in of itself.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I applaud you for that. What you discovered was, like webinars generally nowadays are free. Let's just call it what it is. So why not utilize and leverage the webinars, really get people in and use it as an opportunity to develop that relationship with your potential clients, use it to grow your list, and to kind of give them a snapshot of what it would be like to work with you in this deeper dive program.
Yeah.
So, all right. So tell us so when you're doing these webinars, how do you structure them? Like, what is your call to action? How do you actually invite them into the next step? Because I know this is working for you. Before we went live, you were like, oh my God, like I, just got 3 new clients like yesterday, like it's just blowing up for you guys. So tell us, like, how do you position the next step in the webinar?
Yeah, so we offer people a free initial session. So, for us in our minds, it's really more of a sales call to get people to build a relationship with us and to educate them on maybe one small topic, but kind of gently guide them into, I think it'd be beneficial for you to work with a dietitian. But we offer a free and a limited number of spots. So they think they're like very special in terms of like if they grab one or if they get one. So we always offer that at the end of each, and we make sure we always include the link of how to sign up and really just give them every possible way to sign up for a kickoff call with us.
Great. Okay. Do you have them, I promised is one of the things that we were going to talk about. Where do you guys use an application as part of your process?
It's on our site. So if we think someone is an ideal client and they want to schedule a call with us, it can be really beneficial to have them put more information down so we can almost tailor our call already towards them. So instead of like going in blindly and like not knowing what to deal with, already having ideas in mind and really prepping as if it's a sales call. Got it.
So question for you, because this often comes up in my teaching. Do you find that, because it's an extra step, right? It is an extra step, having people fill out that application. Do you find that that's a deterrent, or do you find that people that actually take the time to fill it out turn out to be just better clients? Is it kind of a way to, you know what I'm saying? Because, there's pros and cons. But but it sounds like I'm curious about that. Have you found it, like, are you losing people in that process?
No, I feel like if they fill out the application, they definitely have a picture in mind of what it would look like to work with us automatically. And if they aren't filling out like an application like that beforehand, oftentimes our call goes like exactly kind of how we pitched it, is like a free initial session with us. So it's quick and they just want free tips, and you don't get so much of that like valuable, deeper conversation that is, you know, heartfelt, and, you know, you attract people who are not so genuinely interested in working with you. So that
right.
application, if they fill it out, they are much more likely to sign up, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that has always been my thought as well. Like, I just feel like there needs to be a little bit of skin in the game, right, on their part, because at the end of the day, they have to do the work. It's not like you have a magic wand that you can just, you know, it's not magic. Like, it just, I think it's a fair request to ask them to fill out a little form. It's not like overly cumbersome. It's not a full health intake. Like, you save that for the paid work. It's just a little application that gives you some insight, and, you know, like, gosh, if they can't even do that, they're probably not going to be the best client, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Tell me, so there's a couple other things I want to touch on. I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you've leveraged your collaboration with Orange Theory and like other, you know, Orange Theory and any other businesses in your local area. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have collaborated with local businesses to us to offer a free webinar for their members. So they, you know, it's very specific for them. We always want to choose someone who's an ideal client of us. So for example, I know Orange Theory members are dedicated to working out, and a lot of them are dedicated in probably their health and wellness, including nutrition. So we offer free webinars for them. So we have been putting those on now for a year now, really, especially in the past, I would say 6 months. And we've seen a lot of traction from that.
Awesome. So, you know, I just happened to look at the comments. So it looks like we have some amazing questions. So are you guys okay on time, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. So how long are the webinars?
It depends on the topic, really, but anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. So this is, I'm not surprised by some of these other questions. So this webinar is every week and it's free. Is it the same topic? And then you offer the what at the end of the call for the call to action. So can one of you comment on that?
So it's occasionally free depending on the topic. You know, we always try to do something that's fun, interactive, and that will get a lot of people on the webinar and make that free. We
love it.
Yeah, so it really depends on the topic and what we're talking about, and so it's not the same topic each week. We change it up. We do keep some of our webinars on a good rotation, like do one webinar maybe once a quarter if it gained a lot of traction. And then at the end of the webinar is where we invite people into that free session where we would offer a limited number of spots and give them valuable feedback.
Awesome. So yes, you integrate that call to action at the end. We are basically saying, you know, that you're gifting, you know, X number of special breakthrough sessions, right? And that's really their opportunity to connect with you on a deeper level and get a better sense of how you can help them. And one thing to be clear on, everyone, is we're never steamrolling into like an offer to step into the work, right? You know, the way I teach, and I'm sure Leah and Allie can attest to this, it's very much about helping that person really get clear on what's at stake if they stay the same, helping them to become more emotionally attached to what's possible for them if they do change. Because at the end of the day, it really is up to them. So we're inviting them, if they seem like a good fit, to step into that next, whatever it is, the program. Usually in their case, it's the 90-day VIP program. So we have a few more questions that came in. If they miss the webinar, do you send it to them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So they can listen to it later. Awesome. And then, we answered this. Hey, Sandy. So the number of minutes varies. It sounds like it's, 30, 40, 45 minutes. And okay, this is a really good question. Oh, I love this one. How do you balance being informative in your webinar and avoiding giving it all away?
I mean, any webinar is going to be generalized. So I would say we give it all away in terms of generalization, but we also sort of note that, for example, we're talking about protein. Protein is obviously very individualized to the person. So what we say in a webinar might not be applicable to someone specifically. So,
and also like our topics are very specific. So it doesn't answer all their questions. And, if that's the only thing that someone needs is just like a webinar and then they're fine after that, then they're not our ideal client and they're not going to get a lot out of working with us. We're looking for someone who, at the end of it, or at least when we can have a call with them, they'll understand that accountability and working one-on-one with us is the only way that they're going to reach their true results and true goals.
I love that. So, guys, it's so true. Anyone and I understand why it can be a little scary to do a webinar, do it for free with the fear that, oh my gosh, I'm going to give so much away. The value in what you all offer as practitioners is it goes way beyond information, okay? It really does. The value you offer is you help people actually get to the finish line. It's personalization, it's accountability, and it's all these things that are put together, packaged up together in that program to actually help the person achieve the results. And I do think it's important in these webinars that, that you pretty much say that, right? So that people don't walk away thinking, oh, I've got the magic diet now. Like they think like there's this secret diet that we have that, like there is no such thing. Yeah. It's personalized, and you working with us is the ticket, right? In order for you to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. So Melinda wants to know about the topics. So it sounds like you mix up the topics, right?
Yes. Yeah. We mix them up and we choose our topics. So we brainstorm ourselves and we work really hard on the topics that we choose.
Okay. All right. We got a couple more actually great questions. Give us a few ideas on the topics you use.
Like intuitive eating, running and nutrition. I would say really I would recommend thinking of things your clients have asked information on, going with that. A lot of sports nutrition one, we've worked a lot with athletes. So I would think about topics that your clients really are wanting.
I actually love that. Listen to your clients. Do, keep a running list of common questions that you're getting and, do a webinar on that. The other thing that I know I've done that I really enjoy is kind of like a Q&A, like a group coaching Q&A, like ask me anything kind of thing. And for my audience, I found that really helpful as well. And it's just that you want to grow that community. People crave sense of community right now, with everything that's happened over the past year. So I think it's a really good strategy. So, hey, Jenna wants to know, the call to action is the free call with you, or do you actually describe your program? Awesome question.
Honestly, we've done both. I would say typically free call, but we've tried a lot of different things, and I don't know how to. It depends.
Yeah. It's so in describing our program, it's not really so much about us in offering this free call. It's like, people aren't interested in how you do things or like what your program involves. They just want they want help and they want answers. So we talk about this free session and how it will provide them with insight into helping them solve their problems, and we'll get to the bottom of truly why why they want to work with us, basically. So we really go into how that session will be insightful and useful to them. At the end comes with usually working with us and continuing to reach their goals.
Okay, so basically then, and this is a really important point, you sell, in air quotes, what the benefits are to grabbing this time with you.
Yeah.
So you're not directly selling your program. You're really focused on, here's the advantages to actually grabbing a session with us. This is what you're going to walk away with, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. So good. So good. Oh my gosh, we're getting lots of questions.
We only have a couple minutes left.
Okay, got it. Yep, same here. Okay, yep. All right. So, okay, how are you leveraging the ebooks?
We post in Facebook groups. We have a variety of ebooks that, one is on a certain intolerance or a food allergy, and we are in Facebook groups and we post a special code to give away that ebook for free. And it basically is like a transaction for their email. And then we offer them a free session with us that where they would get so many results out of that one session again, just to get them on the phone so we could talk deeper about what it would look like to work with us.
I love that. Okay. All right, guys. I want to make sure that I put my Instagram on here. Guys, please DM me. Go to Instagram, drop me a line if you've got any questions. I know there were a few questions that we didn't get to, and I'll pop back into Facebook and try to answer those. So I'm gonna let Allie and Leah get on with their day, because well, actually, before we close up, tell us how many clients you guys have. Like, I want to hear about some of your results based on these strategies. Let's end on a real high here by sharing with people how these strategies have literally changed your business and your lives.
We each have about 10 right now, so we both have a good amount, and we definitely have our hands full.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, all right, guys. So that's so amazing. You're doing incredible work. You're changing lives, and you're in a position where really the world is your oyster, right? You're getting one-on-one clients. I'm sure we'll be talking with you again soon about how you're moving into a more leveraged practice, right? In terms of, doing memberships and that sort of thing. But we'll save that for another day. All right. So again, I want to thank you so very much for joining and really helping others in our RD community. Appreciate it very much. All my best. Mwah. All right, guys. See you. All right. Bye for now, everybody. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody. And I will see you next week.